Have you ever found yourself frozen in amazement at an incredible, almost impossible confluence of circumstances? You thought of a long-lost friend, and a minute later, they call you. You're agonizingly searching for an answer to a difficult life question, and suddenly, you accidentally stumble upon an article, a book, or a phrase in conversation that gives you the very insight you needed. Or perhaps, you're haunted by the same numbers, symbols, or images, appearing in the most unexpected places, yet inexplicably resonating with your deepest thoughts and feelings. What is this? Simple coincidences? Tricks of our imagination? Or something much more? Carl Gustav Jung, one of the most insightful explorers of the human soul, would call these phenomena synchronicity. For him, it wasn't just a word for strange coincidences. It was a fundamental concept pointing to a deep, mysterious connection between our inner, psychic world and the outer, material world of events. Synchronicity, according to Jung, is not just a coincidence in time, but a meaningful coincidence, where two or more events, having no apparent causal connection, are found to be linked by a common meaning for the person experiencing them. It's as if the universe itself is winking at you, whispering in your ear, trying to draw your attention to something important. Today, we will embark on one of the most fascinating journeys through the labyrinths of Jungian thought. We will try to lift the veil of mystery over the phenomenon of synchronicity. We will learn how Carl Jung understood these talking coincidences, why they so often intrude into our lives, especially during moments of profound change, and how they are connected to our unconscious, our archetypes, and our individual path of becoming ourselves, the process of individuation. We will explore 7 key signs or manifestations of synchronicity that will help you not only to notice these amazing messages but also to understand their language, using them as an invaluable compass on the path to a more conscious, meaningful, and harmonious life. Are you ready to tune your inner antennae and learn to hear how the universe speaks to you personally? Part 1. What is synchronicity, according to Carl Jung? Not just coincidence, but a causal connecting principle. To truly understand what Jung meant by synchronicity, we need to step slightly beyond the usual, linear, cause and effect thinking that dominates our Western culture. We're accustomed to seeking a cause for everything. Event A led to event B. But Jung, observing his own life, the lives of his patients, and studying ancient philosophical systems, especially Eastern ones, like the Chinese Book of Changes, I Ching, concluded that there exists another principle organizing reality, the principle of a causal, i.e. non-causal, connection through meaning. Distinction from simple coincidence. It's important to understand that not every coincidence is synchronicity in the Jungian sense. If you accidentally meet 2 people on the street wearing identical hats, it's most likely just a coincidence, carrying no deep personal meaning for you. Synchronicity, however, is characterized precisely by its subjective significance for the person experiencing it. It's a confluence of circumstances that evokes a feeling of wonder, amazement, a sense that this can't be just a coincidence, that there's some hidden meaning behind it, some message addressed specifically to us. As Jung wrote, it is a temporal coincidence of 2 or more causally unrelated events which have the same or similar meaning. 2 components of synchronicity. Jung identified 2 main components of a synchronistic event. An inner psychic state. This could be a thought, feeling, dream, premonition, intense emotional experience, or a deep inner question occupying the person at that moment. An outer objective event. This is some event in the external world that occurs almost simultaneously with the inner state and somehow corresponds to it in meaning, symbolically reflects it, or answers the inner query. For example, you are deeply grieving a breakup with a loved one and suddenly hear a song on the radio that was your song with them, and the lyrics strikingly describe your feelings and offer unexpected advice. Or you are agonizing over a career change, and then you accidentally come across an article about someone who successfully made the very transition you dream of. Synchronicity as a creative act of reality. Jung suggested that synchronicity is not just a passive reflection of our inner world in the outer, but a kind of creative act of reality itself, a manifestation of some universal ordering principle, which he called unus mundus, one world. This is a hypothetical dimension where the psychic and physical are not separate but are aspects of the same fundamental reality. In moments of synchronicity, we, as it were, touch this one world, sensing the profound interconnectedness of all things. The role of the unconscious and archetypes. Jung believed that synchronistic events are often orchestrated by our collective unconscious and activate archetypes, universal, innate patterns of perception, thought, and behavior. When a particular archetype, for example, the shadow, anima, animus, wise old man, or the self, becomes especially active in our psyche, it can attract or manifest events in the outer world that symbolically correspond to its energy. For example, if you are actively working on integrating your shadow, you might start encountering people or situations that mirror your shadow qualities, helping you to become aware of them. Synchronicity and individuation. For Jung, synchronicity was closely linked to the process of individuation, the path to becoming a whole personality. He noticed that synchronistic events often intensify during periods of significant life transitions, crises, moments of choice, or when a person is actively engaged in self-discovery and spiritual seeking. At such times, synchronicity can serve as a kind of compass of the soul, indicating direction, confirming the correctness of the chosen path, or conversely, warning of dangers. It's as if the self, our inner center of wholeness, uses the language of synchronicity to communicate with our ego. Understanding synchronicity, according to Jung, opens up a completely different picture of the world, a world full of meaning, mystery, and invisible connections, where our inner life and external events are in constant, living dialogue. It is a world where coincidences may not be mere coincidences, but significant signposts on our unique path. Part 2. Sign number 1. Recurring numbers, words, or symbols. The universe's secret code. One of the most common and easily recognizable manifestations of synchronicity is the persistent appearance of recurring numbers, words, phrases, or symbols in your life. Perhaps you constantly look at the clock and see 1111, 2222, or other combinations. Or you frequently notice license plates with a specific sequence of digits. Maybe you hear the same rare word or phrase from different, unrelated sources, from a random passerby, a song on the radio, a book you're reading. Or you start being haunted by certain symbols, an image of a bird, a specific animal, a geometric shape, appearing in the most unexpected places. Why does this happen, and what might it mean? From Jung's perspective, such repetitions are not just a game of chance. It's a way the unconscious, both personal and collective, tries to draw our attention to something important. Numbers as archetypal symbols. Jung, like many ancient traditions, viewed numbers not just as quantitative units, but as archetypal symbols carrying a certain qualitative meaning. For example, the number 1 can symbolize beginnings, unity, individuality. Number 2, duality, partnership, conflict. Number 3, creativity, synthesis, completeness. Number 4, stability, structure, wholeness. Think of Jungian quaternity. When a certain number or combination starts appearing insistently, it might indicate which archetypal process or theme is currently active in your life. For instance, many interpret the frequent appearance of 1111 as a portal, a sign of awakening, a call to pay attention to one's thoughts and intentions. Words and phrases as keys to understanding. Recurring words or phrases can be a direct answer to your inner question, a reflection of your current state, or an indication of a theme requiring your attention. What matters is not only the word itself, but also the context in which it appears and the feelings it evokes in you. For example, if you're thinking about changing jobs and constantly hear the word freedom, it could be a powerful synchronistic sign. Symbols as the language of the soul. Jung considered symbols the primary language of the unconscious. The appearance of recurring symbols, for example, a butterfly as a symbol of transformation, an owl as a symbol of wisdom, a snake as a symbol of healing and renewal, can indicate what archetypal process is unfolding in your soul or what quality you need to develop. How is this related to synchronicity? Synchronicity here manifests in the fact that these numbers, Words or symbols appear precisely when they are meaningful to you, when they resonate with your inner thoughts, feelings, or life situation. It's not just statistical frequency, but a meaningful coincidence. Your inner state, as it were, attracts or makes you receptive to these external signs. How to interpret these signs? Example in the gold of the shadow. Suppose you're going through a period of uncertainty and constantly see the number 3. Jung would suggest this might be related to the archetype of the Trinity, symbolizing the creative resolution of conflict between two opposites, the birth of something new. The gold here is a call to creativity, to seek a third, synthesizing path, to trust the process of a new idea or a new stage of life being born. Or, for example, you are working on accepting your shadow, and the image of a wolf starts haunting you. The wolf is a powerful shadow symbol, associated with instincts, wildness, but also with loyalty to the pack, with intuition. Perhaps the universe, through this symbol, is calling you to recognize and integrate your instinctual, wild nature, your power that you've suppressed, and simultaneously find your pack, your community. Important, there is no universal dream dictionary for synchronistic signs. Their meaning is always very individual and depends on your personal context, associations, and intuitive response. Jung advocated for the amplification of a symbol, exploring its meaning in different cultures, myths, and also in your personal experience. What to do if you notice such repetitions? Pay attention and write it down. Don't dismiss it as nonsense. Keep a synchronicity journal and record what repeats, when, and in what context. Listen to your feelings. What emotions, thoughts, memories does this sign evoke in you? Reflect on your current life situation. What could this be related to? What inner question or problem is currently relevant for you? Don't rush to conclusions. Sometimes the meaning of a sign is revealed not immediately, but over time. Be patient and observant. Recurring signs are like the universe trying to reach you, using persistent but gentle reminders. By learning to notice them and listen to them, you open another channel of communication with your deep wisdom and the mysterious order of being. Part 3. Sign number 2. Accidental encounters and conversations that change your life. Another striking manifestation of synchronicity is accidental encounters with people or unexpected conversations that come into your life at the very moment you need them most, exerting a profound, sometimes fateful influence on you. You might suddenly bump into someone on the street you haven't seen in years, and a short conversation with them sparks an important idea. Or you accidentally find yourself next to a stranger in a cafe who suddenly starts telling a story remarkably similar to yours, and their words offer you comfort or a new perspective on your problem. Or you meet someone who becomes your mentor, partner, or simply someone who opens new doors for you. Why these encounters are not always accidental. From Jung's perspective, such encounters are often orchestrated by the unconscious or by life itself, unus mundus, to guide us, support us, or confront us with what we need to realize. This doesn't mean everything is predetermined, but it implies that there are certain attractors of meaning that bring people and events together at the right moment. Projection and transference. Sometimes we attract certain people because we project important inner figures onto them. For example, anima, animus, wise, old man, shadow. Meeting such a person can help us better understand these inner aspects. For example, if you are looking for the ideal partner, you might meet someone who embodies all your projections, and this relationship, even if difficult, will become a powerful lesson about your own expectations and needs. The collective unconscious. We are all connected at the level of the collective unconscious. Sometimes, meeting another person is like two messengers from this deep level who are meant to convey an important message or energy to each other. Response to an inner query. If you are sincerely seeking an answer to a question, if your soul is ready for a certain experience, then synchronicity can toss you the right person or conversation that will catalyze your growth. Examples of synchronistic encounters and their meaning. Meeting a guide or mentor. You are at a crossroads, unsure where to go next, and suddenly you meet someone who has already trodden a similar path and can offer valuable advice or inspiration. For example, you want to change careers but are afraid. and you accidentally meet someone who successfully made a similar career turn and shares their experience. Meeting a mirror. You might meet someone who's a spitting image of you in their problems or, conversely, in qualities you deny in yourself, your shadow. Such an encounter can be uncomfortable, but it offers a chance to see yourself from the outside and recognize your patterns. An encounter opening new opportunities. An accidental acquaintance can lead to a new job offer, participation in an interesting project, a move to another city, something that fundamentally changes your life in accordance with your deep aspirations. An accidental conversation providing an epiphany. You might overhear a snippet of conversation on public transport, or a stranger in line might suddenly say a phrase that becomes the answer to a question that has long tormented you. Jung himself described such instances. How to recognize the significance of such an encounter or conversation. The gold, or treasure. Synchronistic encounters are often accompanied by a special feeling, a sense of recognition, non-accidentality, deep resonance, or conversely, strong inner resistance if the encounter activates our shadow. After such an interaction, you might feel a surge of energy, inspiration, clarity, or conversely, strong emotions that make you think deeply. The treasure of such encounters lies in their ability to jolt us out of our usual rut, expand our consciousness, show us new perspectives, help us recognize our blind spots, or confirm the correctness of our inner movement. They can be a gentle nudge or a powerful kick from the universe. What to do if you've experienced such an encounter? Be open and attentive. Don't dismiss accidental encounters and conversations. Listen not only to the words but also to your inner sensations. Reflect on the meaning. After such an encounter, take time for reflection. What exactly struck you? What message did you receive? How does it relate to your current life situation? Act if appropriate. Sometimes a synchronistic encounter is a direct call to action. If you were offered help, don't refuse. If you received valuable advice, think about how to apply it. Be grateful. A feeling of gratitude for such gifts from the universe strengthens your connection to the flow of synchronicity. Accidental encounters and conversations are one of the most beautiful and human ways the universe communicates with us. They remind us that we are not isolated islands but part of a vast, interconnected web of life, where each of us can become an important sign or messenger for another. Part 4. Sign number 3. Dreams that foresee or reflect reality when boundaries blur. Dreams have always been a source of mystery, inspiration, and prophecy for humanity. Carl Jung attached colossal importance to dreams, considering them the royal road to the unconscious. But sometimes our dreams go beyond simply reflecting our daily worries or symbolically expressing inner conflicts. They begin to strangely and inexplicably resonate with future or simultaneously occurring events in external reality. This is another powerful and often unsettling sign of synchronicity. Types of synchronistic dreams. Prophetic or precognitive dreams. You dream of an event, sometimes in great detail, and after some time, it happens in reality. These can be minor everyday situations or significant life turning points. For example, you dream of meeting a long-forgotten acquaintance, and the next day you actually meet them. Or you dream of an accident on a specific stretch of road, and later you find out it happened there. Telepathic dreams or dreams about simultaneously occurring events. You dream that something is happening to one of your loved ones, even if they are far away. For example, they are sick or in trouble, and later you find out it's true. Or you dream of an event that is happening at that very moment somewhere else, which you couldn't have known about. Dreams symbolically reflecting an objective situation. Sometimes a dream doesn't literally predict an event, but symbolically reflects the essence of an objective situation you haven't yet consciously realized. For example, you might dream that your house is collapsing, and this could be a synchronistic reflection of the fact that your family relationships or career are indeed under threat, even though you haven't yet paid attention to it. Jungian explanation of such dreams. Jung did not view such dreams as simple clairvoyance in the vulgar sense. For him, it was a manifestation of the deep connection between the individual's psyche and the collective unconscious, as well as with unus mundus, the one world, where the psychic and physical are not separate. The collective unconscious as a source of information. The collective unconscious, according to Jung, contains not only archetypes, but also a kind of database of potential possibilities and lines of event development. In certain states, for example, in dreams, when ego control is weakened, our individual psyche can connect to this field and read information that has not yet manifested in physical reality. Archetypes as organizers of experience. Archetypes can not only shape our inner experiences, but also influence how external events unfold, attracting situations corresponding to their energy. A synchronistic dream can be a reflection of the activation of a powerful archetype. A causal knowledge. Jung hypothesized the possibility of a causal knowledge. That is, knowledge obtained not through cause and effect relationships, but through direct intuitive apprehension of the meaning or pattern of events. Dreams can be a channel for such knowledge. Examples and significance for individuation. The gold or treasure. One of the most famous stories associated with Jung is that of his patient's dream about a golden scarab. While she was recounting the dream, an actual scarab beetle, very rare for that region, flew into Jung's office window. This event became a turning point in therapy, as the scarab in ancient Egyptian mythology is a symbol of rebirth. For the patient, it was an incredibly powerful synchronistic sign that broke through her rational resistance. The treasure of such dreams lies not so much in predicting the future, Jung warned against fatalistic interpretation, as in indicating that our psyche is much wiser and deeper than we think, that we are connected to something larger than our small ego, and that we need to pay attention to subtle signals from both within and without. Such dreams can confirm our intuition. If you had a vague premonition and a dream confirmed it, it strengthens trust in your inner voice. Warn of danger. Sometimes such dreams can be a gentle or not so gentle warning of possible problems, giving us a chance to avoid or prepare for them. Point to hidden connections or possibilities. A dream can highlight something we didn't notice in our waking state. Enhance the sense of meaningfulness and connection with the world. Experiencing a synchronistic dream can give a profound feeling that our life is not random, that there is some higher order and meaning in it. What to do with such dreams? Write them down in as much detail as possible, immediately upon waking, before the details fade. Pay attention to your feelings in the dream and after waking. The emotional response is often key to understanding. Don't try to interpret them literally and unambiguously, especially if it's a symbolic dream. Look for parallels with your current life situation, with your inner experiences. Share them with trusted people or a therapist, if they work in a Jungian key. Sometimes an outside perspective helps to see what we miss. Observe reality. If a dream seems precognitive, simply be attentive to what is happening in the external world, without panicking or having excessive expectations. Dreams in which the boundaries between the inner and outer worlds blur are a powerful reminder of the mysterious nature of reality and the incredible possibilities of our psyche. They invite us to a deeper dialogue with our unconscious and with life itself. Part 5. Sign number 4. Accidental. Books, films, music, or information that hits the bullseye. Surely, each of us has experienced this amazing feeling at least once in our lives. You are wrestling with a question, going through a difficult period, and suddenly, completely, accidentally, a book falls into your hands. You stumble upon a film, hear a song, or read an article that seems written or created specifically for you at that very moment. The information contained in them turns out to be a strikingly accurate answer to your unspoken questions, offers unexpected comfort, inspiration, or a new perspective on your situation. This is another classic manifestation of synchronicity, where the external information flow resonates with your internal state. Mechanisms of such accidental alignment. Jung would explain this not as mere luck, but as the result of a complex interplay of several factors. Selective attention, but not only that. Of course, when something deeply concerns us, we start noticing information related to that topic more often. Our internal filter tunes into a certain frequency. But synchronicity is more than just selective attention. Often, information comes from completely unexpected sources we hadn't even thought of. Activation of archetypal patterns. When a certain archetype is activated in our psyche, for example, the archetype of the quest, overcoming, healing, it can, like a magnet, attracts stories, symbols, ideas from the external world that resonate with its energy. Books, films, music are powerful carriers of archetypal plots and images. The field of meaning of the collective unconscious. Jung hypothesized that there is a kind of field of meaning common to all people, where ideas and images circulate and can be read by those in a state of heightened receptivity. When you ask a deep inner question, you, as it were, send a request into this field, and the answer can come through an accidental information channel. The role of unconscious intuition. Our unconscious is much wiser and more intuitive than we think. It can guide us to the right information, even if we are not aware of it. You might accidentally walk into the wrong bookstore, accidentally click on the wrong link, and find exactly what you need. Examples and their significance for personal growth. The gold, or treasure. A book that finds you. You might not have read a particular author for years, and suddenly their book accidentally catches your eye at the very moment you need it, and in it, you find answers to questions that have long troubled you. For example, you are experiencing a midlife crisis, and a book by Jung on individuation falls into your hands. A film or play reflecting your drama. You watch a film, and the plot or the character's experiences so accurately reflect your own life situation that you experience catharsis, gain new understanding, or see a way out. A song becoming the soundtrack of your period. The melody or lyrics of a song can perfectly match your mood, offer comfort, inspire action, or help express what you couldn't articulate. An article or lecture changing your worldview. An accidentally read article or heard lecture can completely overturn your ideas about something important, open new horizons, and direct your life in a new direction. The treasure of these synchronistic informational gifts lies in their amazing timeliness and ability to give us exactly what we need for the next step in our development, be it understanding, comfort, inspiration, a new perspective, or specific knowledge. They seem to confirm that we are not alone in our quests, that there is some higher wisdom that cares for us and guides us. It is also a call to trust our intuition and be open to unexpected sources of knowledge. How to react to such informational synchronicities. Don't ignore coincidences. If some information caused a strong emotional response in you, seemed significant, pay attention to it. Reflect on the received message. What exactly in this book, film, or song resonated so strongly with you? How is it related to your life? What conclusions can you draw? Use it as fuel for growth. If the information inspired you to make some changes, don't postpone them. Synchronicity often comes to nudge us into action. Share your discoveries, if appropriate. Sometimes by sharing accidentally found wisdom with others, you can help them too, and also deepen your own understanding. When the universe speaks to us through books, films, music, or random articles, it's an invitation to dialogue, to expand our consciousness, and to gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world. It's a reminder that wisdom can come from the most unexpected sources if we are ready to receive it. Part 6. Sign number 5. Inexplicable inner urges and intuitive pushes to act. Sometimes, synchronicity manifests not so much in external events, but as powerful, inexplicable inner urges, intuitive pushes, or sudden insights that compel us to take certain actions, even if we cannot logically justify them. You might suddenly feel an irresistible desire to go to a specific place, call someone, start a new project, or conversely, abruptly stop something you've been doing for a long time. These impulses seem to come out of nowhere, but are accompanied by a deep sense of rightness and necessity. The nature of these inner voices. Jung believed that such intuitive urges are often the voice of our self, or a manifestation of the collective unconscious, trying to guide us on our path of individuation. Intuition as a psychic function. Jung identified intuition as one of the 4 main psychological functions, along with thinking, feeling, and sensation. Intuition is the ability to perceive information directly, bypassing conscious analysis, to grasp the essence of things, to foresee possibilities. When this function is developed, it can give us very accurate inner guidance. The voice of the self, as our inner center of wholeness, always strives for our growth and the realization of our potential. Its voice can manifest through these sudden urges that lead us to experiences necessary for our development. The call of destiny or purpose. Sometimes these inner impulses feel like a call that is impossible to resist. This might be related to our unique life purpose trying to break through into our consciousness. Examples of synchronistic inner urges and their consequences. A sudden decision to change life. A person who has worked for many years in a stable but unloved job suddenly feels an irresistible urge to quit everything and go traveling, pursue creativity, or volunteer. This decision might seem crazy to others, but for them, it is the only right one. An accidental wrong turn. You are driving on a familiar route, and suddenly something makes you turn onto an unfamiliar street, where you meet someone or see an advertisement that changes your life. Inexplicable attraction or repulsion. You might feel a strong, irrational attraction to a person, place, or activity, or conversely, a sudden repulsion from something that previously seemed attractive. A creative impulse from nowhere. An artist, writer, or musician might suddenly receive a powerful creative impulse, an idea that seems to come from outside and demands immediate воплощение. The treasure of these inner urges lies in their ability to take us beyond our habitual mental constructs and ego fears, opening the way to new, unexpected possibilities and a more authentic life. Trusting these impulses often requires courage, as they may go against logic, societal norms, or the expectations of others. But it is by following them that we often make the most important breakthroughs on our path of individuation. This is a call to develop trust in our inner compass and the courage to follow the call of our soul. How to distinguish intuitive pushes from impulsivity or anxiety? This is an important question. Not every inner impulse is the voice of the self. Intuitive urges are usually accompanied by a feeling of deep inner rightness, calmness, even if there is fear of the unknown, clarity, and expansion. They feel right even if illogical. They lead to growth and greater wholeness. Impulsive actions dictated by anxiety or an unintegrated shadow are often accompanied by feelings of restlessness, haste, inner pressure, and a narrowing of consciousness. They can lead to regret and destructive consequences. Developing the ability to distinguish these voices requires self-observation, honesty with oneself, and perhaps the help of an experienced psychotherapist. What to do when you feel such an inner push? Stop and listen. Don't dismiss the impulse immediately. Pay attention to it. Check its quality. Does it come from a sense of calm confidence or from anxiety and fear? What is it calling you to? Expansion or escape? Trust, but verify, if possible. If the urge concerns important life decisions, try to gather more information, consult with wise people, but make the final decision by checking with your inner compass. Be prepared for the unknown. Following intuitive pushes often means stepping into the unknown. This requires faith and courage. Inexplicable inner urges are one of the most intimate and direct ways the universe, or our deep self, communicates with us. By learning to hear and trust them, we gain incredible freedom and the ability to create our lives in accordance with our true purpose. Part 7. Sign number 6. Physical sensations and bodily messages as a form of synchronicity. We are accustomed to thinking of synchronicity as something that happens in the external world or in the realm of thoughts and dreams. However, Carl Jung, like many ancient traditions, recognized the inseparable link between the psyche and the body, soma. Sometimes the universe or our unconscious speaks to us, not through external signs, but through our own body, through sudden, inexplicable physical sensations, symptoms, or changes in well-being that arise synchronously in response to certain life situations, thoughts, or encounters. The body as a mirror of the soul. Our body is not just a biological machine. It is a wise and sensitive instrument that constantly reacts to our inner states and the energies of the surrounding world. Suppressed emotions, unresolved conflicts, intuitive premonitions, all these can find expression on a bodily level. Goosebumps, or chills as a sign of truth. Have you ever experienced sudden goosebumps or a slight chill when you heard some truthful, resonant information, or when you made an important decision? This can be a bodily confirmation that you are on the right path, or that you have touched upon something significant. Butterflies in the stomach, or a feeling of lightness. A sudden sensation of lightness, flight. Butterflies in the stomach can arise when you meet your person, find your calling, or are simply in the flow of synchronicity. Heaviness, tightness, discomfort as a warning. Conversely, a sudden feeling of heaviness in the chest, tightness in the throat, unexplained fatigue, or discomfort in a specific part of the body can be signals that you are in a toxic situation, interacting with the wrong person, or that your body is resisting one of your decisions. Psychosomatic symptoms. Jung, like many modern psychologists, recognized that many physical ailments can have psychological roots. Headaches, digestive problems, skin rashes, chronic fatigue, all these can be ways the body shouts about what our consciousness ignores. The appearance or exacerbation of such symptoms in connection with certain life events can be a synchronistic sign. The synchronicity of bodily messages. The significance of these bodily sensations as manifestations of synchronicity lies in their timeliness and connection to a specific internal or external context. For example, you are doubting whether to accept a new job offer. You read the job description and you experience an inexplicable feeling of heaviness and nausea. This could be a synchronistic no from your body. Or you meet a new person, and when interacting with them, you feel a surge of energy and warmth in your chest. This could be a yes. Examples and their possible meaning. The gold or treasure. A sudden headache before an important meeting may signal an internal conflict, reluctance to attend this meeting, or that the situation itself is stressful and unhealthy for you. The treasure here is a call to listen to your true needs and, perhaps, reconsider your plans or set boundaries. A feeling of a stone in your heart when thinking about a certain person may indicate an unresolved conflict, resentment, or that this person has a negative energetic influence on you. The treasure is the need to work through these relationships, forgive, or distance yourself. A surge of strength and energy when you are doing what you love, a clear sign that you are in your element, that this activity nourishes your soul. The treasure is confirmation of your path and a call to continue. Important, bodily symptoms always require attention and, if necessary, consultation with a doctor. However, do not ignore their possible psychological and synchronistic nature. How to learn to listen to your body. Develop body awareness. Practice body scan meditations, yoga, qigong, dance movement therapy, anything that helps establish contact with your body. Pay attention to subtle signals. Don't wait until your body screams in pain. Learn to notice barely perceptible changes in well-being, mood, energy levels. Ask your body questions. When a sensation arises, ask yourself, or your body, what are you trying to tell me? What message are you carrying? Keep a journal of bodily sensations. Record what sensations arise in response to what situations or thoughts. This will help identify patterns. Our body is an incredibly wise instrument that constantly sends us signals. By learning to hear and trust them, we gain another powerful ally on the path of individuation and another way to perceive the synchronistic messages of the universe. Part 8. Sign number 7. Unexpected obstacles, or, conversely, a green light on the path to a goal. Sometimes the universe speaks to us not only through subtle signs, but also through quite tangible events that either block our path or, conversely, surprisingly clear it. You might be persistently striving for a goal, investing a lot of effort, but constantly encountering insurmountable obstacles, as if life itself is telling you no. Or, conversely, you just thought about something, and suddenly all circumstances start to align perfectly. Doors open by themselves. The right people and resources appear, as if you have a green light. This too can be a manifestation of synchronicity, indicating whether your path aligns with your deep purpose. Obstacles as synchronistic stop signs. If you are, with perseverance worthy of a better cause, banging your head against a closed door, if inexplicable difficulties, delays, cancellations, breakdowns constantly arise on your path, which do not depend on your efforts, perhaps this is not just a black streak. From Jung's perspective, this could be a synchronistic signal that you are going in the wrong direction. Your goal or chosen path does not correspond to the needs of your soul or your true purpose. The universe is gently or not so gently trying to stop you, Now is not the time. Perhaps the goal is right, but you are not yet ready for it, or the circumstances have not yet matured. Patience and, possibly, additional inner work are required. There is a more important lesson to be learned. Sometimes obstacles arise so that we pay attention to some other aspects of our lives, to unresolved inner conflicts, or to the need to develop certain qualities, for example, patience, humility, flexibility, a green light as confirmation of the path. Conversely, when you feel that you are in the flow, when everything unfolds easily and naturally, when the right people and opportunities appear by themselves, this can be a powerful synchronistic confirmation that you are on the right path, that your actions resonate with yourself and with the broader design of the universe. This doesn't mean there will be no difficulties, but the overall feeling is one of ease, joy, and inspiration. Examples and their interpretation: the gold or treasure. A trip that didn't happen. You planned an important trip for a long time, but at the last moment, everything falls through due to unforeseen circumstances. Instead of despairing, ask yourself, what did this situation save me from? What opportunity does it open for me by staying home? Perhaps it was at this time that you were destined to meet an important person or receive a valuable insight. The treasure here is the lesson of trusting the flow of life and the ability to see opportunities even in setbacks. Magically found resources. You start a new project for which there seem to be no funds, and suddenly you are offered financial support, or people are found who are ready to help for free. This is a sign that your project is important and needed. The treasure is confirmation of the value of your endeavor and a call to move forward with faith. Recurring failures in a specific area. If you constantly fail in attempts to build relationships of a certain type or achieve a certain career goal, despite all efforts, this may be a sign that you need to reconsider your goals, your inner attitudes, or even completely change direction. The treasure is an opportunity for a deep reassessment of your true desires and ridding yourself of imposed or outdated goals. How to react to such event-based signs. Develop flexibility and adaptability. It's not always necessary to break down a wall with your forehead. Sometimes it's wiser to stop, rethink the situation, and find another way. Listen to your feelings. If something is achieved with great difficulty and causes constant resistance and suffering, it might be a sign that it's not yours. Conversely, if things go easily and bring joy, it's likely yours. Don't be afraid to change plans. Life is not static. Sometimes the best opportunities come when we are ready to abandon our initial rigid plans. Look for meaning, not blame. Instead of asking, "Why me?" ask, "What is this for? What can I learn from this situation?" The events of our lives are not just a chaotic collection of accidents. They can be powerful synchronistic messages that guide us, correct our course, and help us move towards our true self. The ability to recognize these signs and react wisely to them is the art of living in harmony with oneself and the universe. Part 9. How to cultivate receptivity to synchronicity and use its wisdom, Jungian practices. So, we have looked at 7 key signs by which the universe, through the lens of Jungian synchronicity, can speak to us. But knowing these signs is only half the battle. It is much more important to learn to cultivate within ourselves that inner receptivity, that sensitivity of soul, which will allow us not only to notice these talking coincidences, but also to interpret them correctly, using their wisdom for our growth, healing, and movement along the path of individuation. Carl Jung did not leave us without tools. His approach offers a number of practices that can help us in this subtle art. Developing inner silence and observance, the practice of doing nothing. As we may have discussed in a previous video, a link to which might appear on screen, Jung emphasized the immense value of doing nothing, not in the sense of laziness, but in the sense of consciously creating space for inner silence. In the modern world, overflowing with information and stimuli, our mind is constantly busy, and we are simply unable to hear the quiet whisper of synchronicity. Practice. Regularly set aside time for solitude and silence. This could be meditation, contemplation of nature, or simply sitting in silence without any gadgets. Allow your thoughts to flow without clinging to them. Observe your inner state. It is in such moments of peace that our intuition sharpens and we become more receptive to subtle signs. Keeping a dream and synchronicity journal. Jung considered dreams a direct channel of communication with the unconscious and synchronicities as bridges between the inner and outer. Keeping a journal where you record both is a most powerful tool. Practice. Keep a notebook and pen by your bed. Immediately upon waking, write down everything you remember from your dreams. Images, plots, feelings. Throughout the day, note any significant coincidences, accidental encounters, recurring signs, intuitive insights. Over time, you will begin to see patterns, connections between your dreams, your inner state, and events in the external world. This will help you better understand the language of your personal unconscious and the symbolism of your synchronicities. The method of active imagination. This is a unique technique developed by Jung for direct dialogue with images from the unconscious. It can be very useful for interpreting synchronistic symbols or for clarifying inner urges. Practice. Choose a symbol or image that has caught your attention, from a dream, a synchronistic event. Sit in a quiet place, close your eyes, and allow this image to come alive in your imagination. Engage in a dialogue with it. Ask it what it means, what message it carries. Allow the dialogue to develop spontaneously, without consciously controlling it. Write down or draw what comes. This can provide deep insights. Amplification of symbols, expanding meaning. Jung suggested not limiting oneself to a single interpretation of a symbol, but exploring its meanings on different levels: personal, cultural, archetypal. Practice. If a certain symbol, for example a snake, haunts you, explore what it means to you personally, your associations, memories. Then study its meaning in mythology, religion, art of different cultures. What archetypal themes does it touch upon? Transformation, healing, danger, wisdom. Such a multifaceted approach helps to understand more deeply the message the symbol carries. Developing intuition and trusting your inner voice. Intuition is key to recognizing and understanding synchronicity. The more you trust your inner gut feeling, the clearer the signs become. Practice. Pay attention to your hunches, sixth sense, sudden insights. Don't dismiss them, even if they seem illogical. Test them in practice, where it is safe. Gradually, you will learn to distinguish true intuition from the fears or desires of the ego. Honesty with oneself and working with the shadow. Sometimes we don't see or don't want to see synchronistic signs because they point to our shadow aspects, to things we don't want to confront. For example, if the universe constantly throws you situations where your indecisiveness is revealed, it might be a call to integrate your ability to act. Practice. Be prepared to look at yourself honestly, at your fears, weaknesses, avoidances. Working with the shadow, awareness and acceptance of your rejected parts, makes us more open and receptive to the messages of synchronicity as we stop unconsciously filtering out what is unpleasant to us. Patience and not forcing it. Synchronicity does not work on demand. It cannot be summoned or forced. It comes when it comes. Attempts to artificially find meaning in every little thing or to overanalyze every coincidence can, on the contrary, drown out true signs. Practice. Cultivate patience and trust in the process. Sometimes the meaning of a synchronistic event becomes clear not immediately, but after some time. Allow it to ripen in your unconscious. Don't rush the universe. Gratitude and respect for mystery. Treat manifestations of synchronicity with respect and gratitude. It's like touching something sacred, the mystery of being. Practice. When you notice a significant coincidence that gives you support, direction, or comfort, thank, internally or even aloud, the invisible force that organized it. Such an attitude of openness and gratitude can strengthen your connection to the flow of synchronicity. Remember that the ability to recognize and interpret synchronistic signs is not a mystical gift available only to a select few. It is a skill that can be developed through practice, self-observation, and deepening the connection with your inner world. Carl Jung left us an invaluable legacy that helps us navigate this mysterious, yet so significant, dialogue between our soul and the universe. Conclusion. Life in dialogue with the universe, your synchronistic journey. We have reached the end of our deep dive into the world of Carl Jung's synchronicity. We have seen that coincidences are far from always accidental, that behind them may lie a deep meaning, a message addressed personally to us. We have considered 7 key signs by which the universe, through this mysterious, a causal connecting principle, can speak to us, guiding, supporting, and sometimes even warning us on our life path. Synchronicity is not just a curious psychological phenomenon. It is an invitation to live more consciously, more attentively, more openly to those invisible threads of meaning that connect our inner world with external reality. It is a reminder that we are not isolated beings floundering in a chaos of accidents, but active participants in a great, meaningful cosmic dance. Carl Jung, through his life and teachings, showed us that reality is much richer, deeper, and more mysterious than our rational mind can imagine. And synchronicity is one of the keys he left us, so that we might open the door to this dimension of meaning, where our individual soul resonates with the soul of the world, anima mundi. Learning to recognize and understand the language of synchronicity does not mean abandoning logic or common sense. It means supplementing them with the wisdom of intuition, the sensitivity of the heart, and openness to mystery. It means entering into a deeper, more meaningful dialogue with life, where every event, every encounter, every dream can carry the seed of revelation. May this knowledge inspire you to be more attentive to the talking coincidences in your own life. May it help you see hidden patterns, hear the quiet whisper of yourself, and walk your unique path of individuation with greater confidence and trust. Thank you for sharing this fascinating exploration with us. If this video touched you, if it gave you new food for thought or inspired you to deeper self-knowledge, please give it a like, share it with friends who are also interested in the mysteries of the human psyche, and subscribe to our channel. Many more journeys into the world of wisdom from Carl Jung and other great teachers await us. And now, I want to turn to you. Think about your life. Have there been moments of bright, undeniable synchronicity? What signs has the universe sent you, and how did you react to them? Share your stories, your insights, and your questions in the comments below. Let's create a space where we can learn together this amazing language in which the universe speaks to each of us. Until next time, and may your journey through life be filled with meaning, wonders, and inspiring synchronicities.